Klein on this broadcast, my numbers would plummet, because after the 14th day in a row of talking about Ethan Klein, my audience would be like, what the are you doing? They already do that. Sometimes accidentally Ethan gets brought up, okay? And people still get mad. They're like, bro, stop talking about Ethan. And you're right, I should. From podcast co-hosts debating your reply, guys, truly a glow up from our GOAT. Yeah. I don't understand why he is so terrified of talking to me or talking to Bad Empanada or talking to Matt Lieb, talking to any number of people, that he will resort to like clipping of TikTokers that have defended me. Like, what? You know, why? What is going on here? He offered to debate the TikToker in the soundbite. No shot. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, so there are people he's willing to talk to. It's just not the people that he's routinely trying to present in a false light. Yes, they DM random TikTok accounts that defend you and ask them to come on. That is so cowardly, dude. Oh my God. What a cowardly little baby. Oh my God. Ugh. Ugh. He just like, he's so scared. Holy shit.
Now, this is funny, and everybody knows it. This is where it came from. And I'm just showing the stolen valor that he's trying to claim. So
stolen valor?
Stolen valor? What the f does that mean?
This is from his subreddit, people glazing him up. He's thinking of going to Gaza.
Dude, I might actually take Marsh with me to Gaza.
No.
Oh.
Gaza?
But these people react to it in like a way that makes literally no sense. Like, no one involved in this even thought of the fact that no one who is even remotely anti-Israel is ever going to be allowed to get into Gaza.
Oh my God. Yes, you're right, Bad Empanada. I guess Ethan is correct in, you know, yelling about me saying this, considering that that's your position as well, isn't it? That I have not put any thought into this whatsoever. Bad Empanada's a little autistic chill. Yeah, so am I, dude. This is not a political podcast.
Ever, let alone Israel. Certainly not Israel. Certainly not Gaza.
Did you say Gaza? No.
You can say no.
I already asked him. He said yes.
Marsh, are you serious? Look.
I'm not going to Gaza.
I was not asking.
This segment, they call it Hassan's Crazy Theory. I wonder what the crazy part is.
Well, now that I've heard that it's dangerous.
Oh, that's crazy. Hassan, seriously, you should consider. I also was...
Okay, so here's Hassan. He's back. He's all like, yeah, no, guys. And here he look at all the kudos he's getting on his subreddit. The most recent fear, and Hassan mentioned possibly going to Gaza, and it seemed pretty serious about it. Has this been discussed before? Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God, you guys.
I just want to note, like, the background noise in this show, how the f is that even possible? They have 20 employees. Listen to the mic noise. What is this? Listen to you can hear, like, it's like 25 decibels, dude. What are they in a air tunnel?
Just the joke. It's very funny. And so now here he is trying to listen to how he's trying to frame this now.
You know what he probably realized? He can't go. He can't get into Israel. He certainly can't get.
Yeah, and this was already a part of the conversation from the jump. That was a thing that I had factored in when talking about it. The origin was from your interview with Jeremy Scahill, yet he pulled a clip from your subreddit. Truly not cyberstalking at all. No, it wasn't even from the here. I'll just say this: I'm talking to some journalists who have operated inside of Gaza, who are from Gaza, and I'm working already to potentially go in as well if there is ever an opportunity to do so. I'm just letting you guys know. In terms of going into Gaza, it is very dangerous, obviously, with how Israel operates in that area. But let's see if there's a way to safely do such a thing. Like I said, the key term here, the key phrase here is if it's safely. If it can be done safely, I will try to do it. All right, I'm going to call Jeremy now. That was the first time I ever brought it up. There were folks that thought if the ceasefire held and the Rafah crossing opened up, Bad Empanada is not watching the personal news segment, Hassan. I'll keep it 100. This is not a part of the personal news segment. This is just right before I interviewed Jeremy Scahill, I was talking about it. This is also before the Trump administration had started detaining and trying to deport people for even being pro-Palestine. So if you guys want to understand the context, this is the context. This is how I started talking about it. When you see, here's the problem. When you see something that's 30 seconds long or a minute long, why the f is your assumption that there is probably not more thought being put into it? This question is not for Ethan. This question is for Bad Empanada. Okay? Like, you know what I do. You know the people I work with. Why the f would you also assume, like this donkey over here, that I had not put any forethought into this whatsoever? And the same goes for dumbass chatters. Like, I don't expect Bad Empanada to literally do his due diligence on covering slop in an effort to drive home the point that Israel is a mass murder machine of journalists, because that's the main point of this slop tuber adjacent commentary here. I get it. I understand what he's doing. He's trying to use, popular content creators and the stupid drama that they try to cultivate, Ethan, in an effort to explain to people that are seeking out some context on this drama that the situation is impossible. Like, the situation is horrifying in Gaza, right? That's the point. That's the reason why Bad Empanada is covering this. But in the process of doing that, do you not have any critical thinking skills? Like, you didn't think for a moment that, like, this was one, on invitation, and two, something that I was working on, three, was completely aware of all the impossibilities, all of the hurdles, That's it. Be a little bit more charitable. He doesn't care, man. Why do you think he cares? Because he knows that, I think, because he does care about Palestine, because he does care about the things that I advocate for, and many of those things he also advocates for as well. He cares about the issues. He doesn't care about, like, the content creators. Content creators are disgusting in his eyes, and that's understandable. I totally get where he's coming from with that attitude. Is this what H3 does every podcast? I think so, yes.
Get into Gaza either. I think it's a pretty bad idea to put yourself at the mercy of Israeli border guards by flying to Israel for the off chance that
There was never a moment where I would... Oh my God. There was never a moment where I would go into Gaza from Israel. Oh my God. It would be through Rafah. What the Why does he keep saying this? Watching the same mistake you made with E happening again? No, I think that I don't give a shit if he's going to farm me off of drama, okay? I don't care about that. He's not going to magically turn into someone who's pro-Israel, okay?
Somehow won't know who you are as like a guy with 1 million followers and who's anti-Israel.
Dark ass loser.
Oh my God, how does this guy get
Initially,
this shit?
Ethan and Hila apparently have been talking about, like, sending me to Gaza.
Okay, like, please give me a break. What? No, but this is what he does with everything.
They have been obsessed with it. Like, they want him to go there because obviously they know what happens to you if you go to Gaza. These people know what happens. If someone somehow was to get into Gaza, they would be the highest chance of dying in the least amount of time in the world. You go to Gaza because Israel bombs everything and everyone there. They don't care if you're a foreigner. They don't care if you're Palestinian. All they care is that you're there and they want you dead. So it's a death threat.
With everything. We're joking about how...
Go to Gaza is no different to saying go to Auschwitz in 1944. It's no different to saying get in the oven. That's what they're saying to him. Go and die with the other subhumans. That is what they're saying.
He's a coward.
Why does it say funded by Disney next to your name? I don't know what they're doing over there, dude. I don't watch. I don't know any of this shit.
He got all the credit in the world for
like he ever had a chance. He's a coward. Doesn't want to get bombed in a precision strike by Israel. I mean, do you?
Thinking of going to Gaza.
Oh
but then when he found out he couldn't get sick.
Yet.
What's new?
Oh my God. It says literal war criminal terrorist Hila Klein. The baby terrorizer Hila Klein.
What happened? March 17. It happened 4 days ago.
I was excited he finally remembered my name, but then...
Did he forget?
Wow.
What's her name?
What is happening, dude? This is so... It's so weird, man. What do you mean? part of the reason why I don't really talk about Gila all that much is because, oh God, they're going to clip this and they're going to freak out over this too. Part of the reason why I don't talk about it is because it's mostly Ethan that's doing this shit. I don't care what the feedback or input is from anybody else. And it's also out of respect still to a certain degree that I try to keep my defense of myself as directional as possible. You know? It's just like, it's so strange.
He never says my name.
He should just call you the terrorist wife. That's what you are.
But yeah.
He doesn't like to.
That's the most excited she's ever been in her life.
Yeah. I don't like to what, Ethan? Constantly attack female content creators, call them bitches, you know? But yeah. Yeah, I don't. Especially because I understand that a fraction of my output, if it reflected what Ethan does on a daily basis, if I gave back 10% of what Ethan has been doing, he loses his mind, dude. This is one of those moments. This, most likely not this part, but the clip surrounding this will probably be heavily featured on Ethan's show once again. Because anytime I even remotely mention him in an effort to defend myself because he's just said something that is like so incredibly wrong, I get Instagram stories for a week, multiple segments every single day. H3 subreddit posts talking about like, oh my God, his merch can't possibly be unionized. His merch possibly can't be union made. Yeah, go after the Teamsters now, dude. And the only reason why he does that is because he can't take a fraction of the smoke in return, in person, man to man. He can't do that. I find it really funny, by the way, that he's like promoting my merchandise. That's been really funny because he's been just like trying to on my merch. It's like, bro, Teddy Fresh, like really? What's the saying? Don't cast stones from glass houses? Like, really? Really? He's allergic to research, I think. Yeah, the Teamsters logo is literally on the tags. Like, it says union made in the USA. It's so wild, dude. It's so wild. He's like do people in Ethan's fan base not realize like when he does dumb shit like this, he opens himself to an endless faucet of attack. And the only reason why I don't do that is because I think it's irrelevant. Like, does he actually think that he is not worthy of criticism on this front? On the one hand, this who makes his in China and upmarks it, okay? His is more expensive than mine, okay? Teddy Fresh is more expensive than the product that I put out, okay? Last time he talked about it, he couldn't even believe that it was union made. Last time he talked about it, he couldn't believe that it was USA made because he was like, it's $35. There's no way. He would be making no profit. Oh, that's crazy. Are my profit margins that narrow? Interesting. Maybe it's because the merch in and of itself is mostly for the fans because they want it and not because I can farm them with products made in China that I upmark to $75 or whatever, you know. Like, how can you do that? How can you say this? How can you on this? How can you on this with no research whatsoever while simultaneously putting out Teddy Fresh garbanzo? Like, what are we doing? What the are we doing here? What's next, dude? Is he gonna start suspecting that I'm like on Ozempic or some shit? Oh no, I gave him a new line of speculation. Instagram story incoming. Like, it just blows my mind. It truly blows my mind that he's talking about this and also trying to cast doubt. What's the name of the union? I don't know, man. Ask your producers. They have my merchandise. The tag is in the merch. What is this? Posting his own L's?
we're done, I saw this kid. I wanted to say sorry for taking out your parents, but I don't speak terrorist, so I wanted to give the kid a lollipop, but then the kid pulled out a teddy bear. And what people don't know is bears are really dangerous. They have sharp claws and teeth.
Yeah, bears are dangerous, dude. Bears kill what, like 80,000 people a year?
Yeah.
And yet Hassan and his fans want you to pick the bear over the man in the woods? Give me a break, dude. What a joke. Yeah, way to protect women over there, Hassan. What a bunch of fuck. Okay, are we back? So anyway, what'd you do?
Right. And you know, I was scared.
He even put the button in it. Hey, yo. Wait, why did he post this full joke?
For my
Wait, why is this is just a self-own at that point? Like, what are you? Ethan is just lol-cowing himself. Just for clarity, this TikTok is not a fan of yours. Yeah. I know. I remember he was upset because you know, he thinks I'm also not sufficiently woke, or I am pro sex work, and that's, you know, something like that. I remember.
my life, so I just opened fire.
Viral TikTok about Hitler killing children. These used to be neo-Nazis making these jokes. I don't understand. Oh, he thinks you're a misogynist. Yeah, I think he likes me, but he thinks I'm a misogynist. Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. He's funny. This is a funny joke. And yeah, people can have disagreements with me. It's fine. Other than these clips in the video, their whole show was on your merch and your dog. What the? Oh yeah. Why would you post this? He said I was commercializing Kaya. Again, stone glass house. Ethan has done photo shoots with his dogs. What the? They said that you keep peddling Kaya for attention and that you need to respect her privacy. Okay, that's got to be a joke. Never mind. Damn. Also, they're lying about the brothel now. They've done a full Epstein at this point. I'm pretty sure that wait, what? I'm pretty sure that, again, like, Ethan himself also knew what the truth was about the brothel raid 6 years after I had gone to the brothel that is still in operation. It's a legal brothel in Germany. It's called Artemis. I guess he just, like, forgot. He forgot everything. Every conversation that we had.
Hassan Piker said my name.
You said you'd pay for it last time we were talking about it.
Who said they paid for it?
I think he's referring to last
He said it as well. They both made this same idiotic talking point. That's incredible.
time you were saying you would even pay for it to prove that he's lying. You would pay for his trip.
I don't think. Yeah, I would. First of all, I
Was
would.
that
I don't
in
think that's.
relation to Muda? Because that's what he said.
Muda said that, yeah, but anyway, the money doesn't
remember.
matter. Obviously, he's rich. He could afford to go there if he wanted. But the point is, he's like, they couldn't offer me security assurances, so I'm not going. It's like,
Everyone here is just missing the forest for the trees. You couldn't get in the first place. You couldn't get into Israel, which is a prerequisite for getting into the West Bank or Gaza.
That's not true. The Rafah border was supposed to be cleared out of Israeli troops. That was literally one of the conditions of the ceasefire. Bad Empanada knows this. It is very odd that Bad Empanada is forgetting that there is a border with the Gaza Strip and Egypt. Yes, Israel did not clear the Rafah border as they claimed they would. The Philadelphia corridor is still occupied by Israeli troops. That is the entire point of the ceasefire. That was supposed to be the conditions, the basic conditions for the ceasefire to hold. I don't know why Bad Empanada, who is more knowledgeable on this issue than literally everyone else involved, with the exception of myself, is just forgetting this basic fact, or perhaps thinking that I am oblivious to this basic fact, which I think is so stupid.
And then they certainly wouldn't let you into either of those places. You wouldn't even get past the first hurdle. No one is even bringing that up. But obviously, if he somehow got into Gaza, yes, he would get bombed and killed by Israel. Israel does precision strikes on journalists constantly.
It's so funny. There's like two different Bad Empanadas, I swear to God. When he's doing like a well thought out, like well-sourced YouTube video, it's like an entirely separate person. I feel like he has like two different bad empanadas, you know? There's the bad empanada and then there is the worse empanada, okay? It's not good versus bad empanada because he's still a bad bitch even when he's on point. But I swear to God, you watch him on essays, you're like, wow, this person clearly cares about critical thinking and researching the subject matter that he covers. Look at all of the academic resources that he has linked in the bottom of the channel. And then when he's talking about drama, he is, and I said this before when we was talking about like the loner box stuff too. Like, when he's talking about drama, he's just like flying off the handles. He does not give a about anything. He's just like, yeah. Yeah, everyone involved is stupid except for me. I think I'm sure Hassan is not. What is this? Germany trafficking? Mass police raid on Berlin. Mega brothel 14 April 2016. Hundreds of police raided Artemis sauna. Yeah, you're right. Are you wrong or lying? Germany trafficking. I wonder if that's the last time that, I guess, cops raided the brothel and that's that, huh? Please don't look into anything else. Please, no matter what you do, don't Google anything else about the Artemis sauna, which is still in operation. So strange that it's still in operation. I wonder how that happened. How is it still so no trafficking? Yes, dumb. That's the point. What is happening? Why are people, dude, every single argument that people get in with me revolves around them refusing to do like basic additional research. Just basic additional research. Here is apparently this is the clip of Ethan talking about it versus Ethan talking about it back in 2021. Let's see.
Well, I don't think people cheat on their wives because they're not.
It's not about. It's usually not about like looks or whatnot. It's.
By the way, this is like him talking about a pedophile Republican. I don't know why the he's bringing me up here.
Than that, like psycho shit.
I don't know. It could be a control thing. Like why would someone like Hassan go have sex with a prostitute at a brothel?
Wait, why'd you ban this guy? He was on the verge of arriving at the truth. Oh, he just hit yourself. Wait, I'm unbanning this person. That's so funny. You got triple tap too. Wait, he went German trafficking, so no trafficking then? Then he goes, you are watching Bad Empanada Scumbag, which by the way, Bad Empanada is yelling at me in this video that I'm watching as well, but I guess that he lost that, okay? Okay, but hold on. Immediately, he's corrected on the matter, and he goes, yourself. Oh, that's awesome. That's cool, man. That's a good point that you made, yeah.
In Europe. That got later.
Oh, that's not what I meant. I just meant the part.
No, what do you mean?
Just personally, I meant the cheating and the like pedo part.
But why would someone like Hassan, with people throwing themselves at his feet, find the need to have sex with a prostitute?
I don't know.
Wait, first of all, I was 19, dude. What are you talking about?
That was later rated for human trafficking. He lies about that. He said it was tax. It was both.
Interesting.
It was human trafficking and tax.
You are elevating Bad Empanada? Dog, you just told me to myself. What are you talking about? After being corrected on this information, just watch the rest of this clip.
To me, that's kind of pathological for someone Hassan to go have a...
So is Childen the rape at 19? Wait, what? Rape? What are you talking about? Now you're calling me a rapist. Like, are you okay? Are you all right? Chatter, you're hallucinating. Okay?
That's just weird.
You are trafficked women. No, I'm not.
You know what I mean? They might have a good time, but they're probably there. Hassan Piker went to a brothel.
I was chewing loud and I must have missed something.
No, you didn't say anything. I was talking about Hassan Piker going to have sex with a prostitute at a brothel.
You know what I want for my birthday?
A prostitute?
And I believe the brothel is now suing the city of Berlin for damages too. On top of that,
I actually have an excerpt here. It says the Berlin authorities.
Wait a minute. That's see, Ethan is your favorite content creator, right? Lenigma? Huh. Wait, here's Ethan himself? Wait, what? But this clip is from now, and this is from back then. Wait, what? Wait, hold on.
I actually have an excerpt here. It says The Berlin authorities raided Artemis in a human trafficking investigation. Some people on, let's see here. Basically what they do is, I guess the authorities do routine investigations. They drop in to see, just to see if there's any like human trafficking there. They didn't find any human trafficking there.
Yeah, but he's
actually
implying
what
that
they
there was.
right, because what they actually did arrest people for, as you said, was tax fraud and withholding Social Security contributions. So there was no arrest about human trafficking, in fact, and it's routine. And
But you were manipulating him and hiding your real positions. It's just odd because he found this information himself. So how the f did that happen?
and anyway, it was the people arrested were related.
TACOM, I need eyes overhead.
It's crime.
Yeah, I mean, the
It's a total
fucking...
But I'm not the one who brought this up. Ethan did. He's reading from a news article. So it's not even me manipulating him. I guess he's manipulating himself. And in this situation, manipulating himself requires him, I don't know, manipulating himself in this instance means reading a news article. This is from 2023, 2 years after. Remember when I said the brothel is also famously suing the Berlin government? Yeah, here's the end of that lawsuit. Berlin pays brothel $250,000 compensation over police raid. The operators of the Artemis brothel had launched 2 lawsuits after the police raided the premises in 2016. The city administration has apologized for detaining staff and making prejudicial statements at a press conference. The city of Berlin has issued an apology to a major brothel and paid 250,000 euros, $269,000 in compensation over a police raid that happened 7 years ago. Hundreds of police raided the Artemis sauna and brothel near West Croix in 2016, detaining several people on suspicion of human trafficking, tax evasion, and other violations. Crimes like these can be common in the German sex work industry, which in and of itself is not illegal. At a press conference afterwards, public prosecutors made references to organized crime. But the accusations could not be proven, and the Berlin Regional Court would not admit the prosecution's case in 2018. The 2 operators of the brothel then took the city to court for wrongful detention before reaching a settlement with the administration. The state of Berlin apologized for pretrial detention and the considerable disadvantages suffered by those accused at the time as a result of the search, the pretrial detention, the indictment, and the statements made by the public prosecutor's office, the city's judicial administration said in a statement on Friday. A years-long legal battle. Last December, the Berlin Court of Appeal ruled that the comments made by the public prosecutor's office at a press conference were prejudicial, exaggerated, lurid, and culpably in breach of official duties. It ordered the city administration to pay 100,000 euros in damages. But the operators also had launched a second lawsuit for wrongful detention and demanded a considerably higher amount. The apology and 250,000 euros in compensation were a part of the settlement reached by the city to the brothel operators. The case is now closed. They claim they will use the cash to compensate the female employees who were detained at the time and will donate the remainder to charity. What happened to the guy who was chirping at me earlier? What? I will come back to the for the nuke live. Cool, you aren't a rapist. Prove me wrong. Do it with the rest of the nuke. How hard is that? My bad, not a rapist. Now do the exact thing. Dude, what the f? My bad for accusing you as a rapist was uninformed. Dog, if you were this uninformed, but this over the top with such a ridiculous claim. You said, kill yourself, you fake socialist scum. Okay? You said, kill yourself. You said, kill yourself, you fake socialist scum. Okay? The guy that you are doing this for has lied to you about this. The guy himself knew what the truth was, and he's still actively defaming me. And at no point do you go, hey, maybe that dude is just lying to me because he's personally upset. Like, how are you still mad? You shouldn't be mad at me. You should be mad at him for lying to you, for duping you. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, and now your account is deactivated site-wide because you said kill yourself twice. I unbanned you, and you said kill yourself again. I don't think there's any way that I can ever get people like this to just like see the truth, you know? If someone lies to you, okay, if a content creator lies to you for one reason or another, and then you get corrected as you are in the process of fighting their battles for him, you know, telling me to myself or whatever. By the way, I'm not like Ethan, so I won't be posting this on my Instagram stories and crying about how Ethan just defames me on a daily basis with like easily identifiable lies that he himself knows the truth about, and therefore opens up a faucet of harassment by fans of his. They come in here to tell me to kill myself, that they're gonna walk me out back, find me in West Hollywood, and shoot me in the head because they believe the lies that Ethan has said. If I was like him, if I was a whiny little baby like him, I'd be making a million videos about this, constantly crying about it and being like, see, this is what he's doing. Why does nobody care? This is what he's doing. And the difference between me and Ethan would be that I would be valid in actually talking about this shit because I have not done a fraction of the things that Ethan has done to me for the past 15 months at this point. Okay? That's the difference. And he mistakes my lack of interest in entertaining his drama slop loving ass for some sort of fear, I think. That's the difference.
Brothel is still in operation.
Yeah,
it's not like
this man went from making fun of Ryan Kavanaugh to becoming Ryan Kavanaugh. How the do his fans not realize that? He became everything he hates. He shit on Keemstar. Now he's aligned with Keemstar and turning into Keemstar. And it happened like so fast.
like, you know what I mean?
I mean, what the why would he do that?
Well, yeah, why would people do that?
Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, what the why would he do that?
Yeah, why would they do that? That's crazy. Why would Ethan do that? Is a question I ask myself all the time. Why would Ethan do this? What's the name of the union? Easily could figure it out so easy.
Domination.
Yeah.
I've talked to Palestinian journalists, and they've like wanted me to come out.
Really? Wow. That. Oh my God.
And
wait, what? So what? No counter to that? Just really wow. Oh my God, that's it. Okay. I can't get any security assurances against Israel, obviously.
Well, bro, it's not like Israel. Look, it's not like Israel's going to do a precision strike on Hassan. They don't.
Really? Now, why would he say that? The notion that Israel would not do that is insane. You must not have been paying any attention to what Israel has been doing. You must not have paid attention to the conversations that you and I had over Israel doing exactly that to Shireen Abu Akleh. That was one of the last episodes that we ever filmed of The Leftovers, post-October 7. Israel has American citizens, Israel, and Shireen Abu Akleh was an American legal permanent resident as well. I talked to him about this. He knows this. I talked to him on camera.
Yeah, but it is dangerous. It's a war zone. Like, I agree, it's dangerous.
It's a war zone. They may.
But he was in the running for anti-Semite of the year. They may.
I don't think you guys understand Israel. It doesn't work like that.
Oh, it doesn't work like that. We just simply didn't understand Israel. No, I think it's because we do understand Israel, and we know that it works like that. I think it is you who doesn't understand Israel or refuses to understand what Israel does. Now, if this wasn't dovetailing on a faucet of misinformation, in this circumstance, I wouldn't care about it. I'd be like, oh, there must be mistaken. It's fine. I'd be more charitable. But at this point, I know that this is in defense of Israel. Okay? This is no longer stupidity. It's malicious. That's it. There was a point in time where I would have considered this just like, oh, they just don't know. They don't know. It's fine. Like, I can have a conversation with them. Also, this is textbook defamation by Ethan. He provably knows what he's saying about you is a lie, as shown in this 2021 clip, but he still parrots a known lie with the intent to try and ruin your image. I know.
It's not. Regardless, I agree it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
It's dangerous in a war zone.
Right.
Not because Israel will like target him.
Yeah. It's dangerous in a war zone. Israel won't target him. It'll just be a casualty due to the oopsies that Israel does.
Which they deny here as well. They do precision strikes on Palestinians who send mean things in English on...
Doing this is what made me realize he's so wrong. I thought about his defense of Israeli civilians, but no, he only cares about himself and is personally upset about what I really don't know. But it's stupid and cowardly, and as a man who has 3 kids and a wife and 4 dogs, I can't respect anything he does as a grown 40-year-old man anymore. It's so sad. I mean, he's been doing this nonstop. He has not stopped doing this. And it's like it becomes like increasingly funnier ways in which he basically humiliates himself That's the craziest aspect of it, is that it's becoming increasingly dumber, like saying that my glasses are fake. Like, what the
about Israel on social media as well. They literally target them in their house. Like, I think in this they talk about like Israel doesn't do that to journalists.
Yeah, we just
made a joke about it.
Lots of
like I've talked to Palestinian journalists and they've like wanted me to come out.
Really? Wow. Oh my God.
And
that's your reaction to that?
I mean,
obviously they want people to come, but they can't.
Security assurances against Israel, obviously.
Well, bro, it's not like Israel. Look, it's not like Israel's going to do a precision strike on Hassan. They don't. Yeah, it is dangerous. It's a war zone.
Israel does precision strikes on people, like for basically anything. Israel, for example, they have a population registry. They know where everyone lives, or at least where they live before they destroyed their house. They did a precision strike on the family home, for example, of Refat Al-Arir, who was a Palestinian poet slash basically guy who spammed about how Israel's bad on social media during the genocide. They knew where he...
Refat Al-Arir was directly targeted, him and his family, because Barry Weiss put a hit on him.
Lived. They targeted his house because he was posting tweets about Gaza, about what was happening in Gaza from Gaza. And he was literally deliberately targeted in his house. This is not one occurrence. They precisely target journalists. Gaza is like so...
Yeah. Israeli military accused of targeting journalists and their families. This was a year ago, okay? This was when they had killed only 68 journalists. I say only because they've killed 100 now. They've killed almost 300 aid workers, I think 300. It might be a little bit more than that. They've killed hundreds of journalists, hundreds of aid workers, and they've deliberately targeted them in the process too. It's not like it's just a war zone. That right there is not so subtle genocide denial, by the way. Because, it's a war zone, it's not a genocide.
Impossibly dangerous for journalists compared to anywhere else in the world, that like more journalists have been killed there than have been killed in like 20 years of the Mexican drug war. It is completely unprecedented. They are very specifically targeted for their journalism. This is also not counting things like social media influencers, many of whom have been precisely targeted in their family homes. They are tracked, they are killed.
Yeah, like Meadow, who was shot, who was assassinated in an internet cafe. They killed him. He was in an internet cafe. He was also a member of this community as well. Like, these guys they're insane. Anyone who defends them are insane.
They are specifically killed when their family is there with them. To say that like they wouldn't target a foreigner, Israel does very much target anyone in Gaza who they think they can reasonably kill. Because they never face any consequences for that, and they know it. They would 100% assassinate like a foreign anti-Israel journalist if they thought they could get away with it. And Gaza is the situation where they're most likely to get away with it.
Like, I agree, it's dangerous.
It's a war zone.
It's dangerous because it's a war zone, says Hila Klein, the Railer Ramallah terrorist war criminal.
But what? He was
just a war zone, not because they target journalists, not because they massacre children.
They said of the year, they may.
I don't think you guys understand. Israel doesn't work like that.
Israel doesn't work like that. Why not? Because the genocidal Zionist terrorists said so. Well, that's a good source. I believe that.
It's not. But regardless, I agree it's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
It's dangerous in a war zone.
It's just dangerous in a war zone. I mean, this is genocide denial. Like, I think I don't think she's being stupid.
Well,
I
think she's being malicious. And yeah, it's also extra up that Ethan goes along with it because, as this user says, Hassan actually cried on their pockets explaining to them the intentional targeting and assassination of Shireen Abu Akleh, an American legal permanent resident as well, by the way. And here they are all laughing and joking about the exact same scenario. Before Shireen, it was Tom Herndal. If you're a journalist that supports Palestinians, even one with American or British citizenship, the idea will shoot you in the head, be shielded from consequences by the U.S. and the Israeli government, and then laugh about your murder. Yeah, remember when all the people that Ethan is now aligned with made fun of me for crying there, by the way, and they said that it was fake. I was crying because Ethan was crying. I remember all those animals. But hey, remember, they're just like apolitical. They're just apolitical guys. They're not pro-Israel, you know? That was the only thing that Destiny, the Oreo guy, whatever his name is, like all of those orbiters, every single one of them was just basically laser focused on the conversation that me and Ethan were having, not even talking about the things that I was saying, but instead we're talking about my reactions. I was being too mean to Ethan when I certainly was not being mean to Ethan at all. No, they're not being paid by Israel, Shadows. What the fuck are you talking about? No, I think this is sillier than that. That makes too much sense. I think it's legitimately because as a narcissist, Ethan can't handle the fact that people don't think he's a brilliant advocate for progress because he is dick riding an apartheid state that's doing a genocide into oblivion, and he can't contend with that. If it was about money, if it was about drama farming for the pure monetary purpose, he would have dropped this a long ass time ago. Okay? He would have dropped it a long time ago. No, this is pure, petty, vindictive, malicious smearing. He's burning through his audience, dude. He's willing to go all out. He's willing to lose Instagram followers because he's constantly chirping about this. He's willing to lose sponsorships because he's constantly chirping about this. He's willing to lose subscribers because he's constantly chirping about this. Yeah, Willie Mac, Turkey Tom, Nick Eats Oreos, Chud Logic, Sloppers That Need E for Views. Yeah, all those. I don't even know half these dudes, but yeah, those guys. His employees are leaving. His view counts are down. Nothing will stop this man. He can have 30 people watching him and he'll still do this because for him, it's just like, it's psychotic. Like it's just not, you know, it's not about money, I think. Yeah, he's lost 170,000 subs. He lost subs with the content nuke. It's truly insane. Like he would nuke his own career and he doesn't even care.
Statistically, that is proven wrong.
Also, he can defend a genocidal apartheid state. It is crazy.
Okay, let's look, for example, how many journalists died.
You realize this means he will be forced to pivot to full-time anti-Assad content as a way to keep the lights on? First of all, I think he has enough money to never make videos ever again and still be fine. That's number one. Number two, he already is doing that. That's my point. He is literally doing that every day. Every time he goes live, he does that every single time. And he's doing it at a detriment to his own community. Like his community is completely gone. The remainder stands are the foot soldiers that carried over that will, you know, they're his fedayeen. They're not very knowledgeable on politics and they'll just fight his battles for him. They're the girly pop nation that will go and like viciously dox and say horrible things to people that Ethan has in his crosshairs. But outside of that, the remainder of his like 10K, if his fan base, if his core fan base now is like 20K average viewers, right? 10,000 of them are just like the slop tuber orbiters that are constantly looking for a new lolcow and have been for the past couple of years at this point, hoping that I become this lolcow. So Ethan is like continuing that battle for them. Okay? This man used to have like 40K on a bad day. His podcast used to have 40K on a bad day. He's getting half of that now. It's crazy. And it's like he's lost his core fan base because they were all progressive. They came in after frenemies and like they liked that Ethan had progressive values, and many of them could not contend with the fact that Ethan was just constantly saying stuff that was very suspicious about Israel that didn't seem all too progressive. And now the mask is completely off. And I don't even know if it was like, I don't even know if he was I don't think he was pro-Israel before October 7th to this degree. I think this is like a new phenomena in his world. I'm not even at this point, I'm not even sad like, oh, I lost a friend. Like that's sad, sure. But I think it's more sad that his community used to be a fairly robust, fairly large, progressive community. And at a time when Donald Trump is running his dick through the federal agencies and ruining the goddamn country, now there's another, you know, centrist, right-wing adjacent content creator. Like, this sucks. Like, think about that. Under normal circumstances, someone who claims to be pro-Palestine, would they be occupying themselves with like making a joke about how Israel would never kill journalists? What are you talking about? Or would they be talking about how the Trump administration has unjustifiably deported and also locked up American legal permanent residents, green card holders, and have deported students on student visas for being in the proximity of a pro-Palestinian protest? Like, what do you think is more important to the pro-Palestinian cause? If you claim to be a pro-Palestinian advocate, coming after me in increasingly sillier ways and increasingly more personal ways, like smearing me all the time, thinking about me when I'm not even the subject matter. Like, this dude literally brought my name up. He brought my name up while talking about a pedophile, rapist, Republican congressperson. Like, that's insane. Like, that's the image that you want your fans to associate with me. Like, I get it. You want them to hate me as much as you do, but god damn, dude. Trump agrees with him about his most important issue, supporting the Israeli genocide and targeting pro-Palestinian people. Yeah, I mean, the Trump admin is just locking up random people. He also said he probably called him the K-slur. That's insane. Did you know that Ethan's stream is constantly on the Hassan viewers also watch recommendations for your stream? Great, I don't care. I don't think anyone that watches my content is... If you watch what I talk about with regular frequency, I don't think you're gonna entertain the insane shit that Ethan says. You're gonna be like, what the wait, why is the Vape Nation guy doing Hasbara, doing insane defense for the apartheid state? Like, if you're a fan of mine and then you encounter any Ethan Klein video, you're gonna be like, what the the is this?
In the entire Iraq war, 282 journalists have been killed in Iraq in general in 20 years. In Gaza, 150 journalists were killed in less than a year. This is like by far the deadliest period of, and this is only journalists again. It doesn't count people like Refat Al-Arif. It doesn't count like the social media influencers who they've also targeted. It doesn't count the foreign aid workers.
From Vape Nation to defending Rape Nation. Has he even talked about the pro-rape riots, the pro-rape January 6th in Israel? I don't think so. Maybe he did. I don't know.
Who they've also targeted, obviously, before they can get out and talk about what they saw. So there are many reasons why someone cannot simply go to Gaza, even if they did want to go there, even if they did want to take the immense risk of doing so. Reason one, Israel doesn't get you into Israel in the first place, and in order to get into Gaza or the West Bank, you have to go through Israel because Israel occupies Gaza and the West Bank. They're completely under Israeli control. Obviously, what else? If you somehow did manage to get into Gaza, you would be killed. More than likely, you would just be killed.
No, Ethan totally thinks Netanyahu is an agent of genocide. It's why he has no issue with the Dems giving him a standing ovation and infinite arms. Still fully supports them, whilst he'll never forgive you for saying Nasrallah's smart for saying Jews don't control the U.S. government. Yeah, he probably hates me more for that because he's like, how dare you show Hassan Nasrallah in his words about how Arabs are being anti-Semitic when they say Arabs are being dumb and anti-Semitic when they say Jews control the U.S. It's the other way around. It's the U.S. that controls Israel. Israel's an agent of the United States and Western imperialism.
Killed. Obviously, Israel carpet bombs the entire place. They're trying to eliminate the Palestinian people of Gaza. So yeah, you go there, you probably get.
Anyway, this is not an opportunity for you guys to just like link every dumb thing that he has said. Okay, I don't want you to do that. We're done with this segment. Okay, I don't want to do an entire segment dedicated to Ethan. And every time I talk about Ethan, all the usual suspects come in and they go, see, he said this about you. He said that about you. Okay. You know, Hassan tells people he's a commie, then proceeds to live in a multi-million-dollar house and indulging in material possessions. Go donate your entire bank account to charity. Go move to the CCP. All bark, no action. What a disgrace. Typical neo-communist liberal. Indulging in material possessions. This man is so honest about his stupidity. I respect it. He's like, communism literally means, first of all, I don't think I'm a communist, but But he literally said communism means you can't own anything. Respect.
Killed. Telling someone to go to Gaza is a death threat. It's like saying get in the oven. And these guys are just saying it openly. But again, that's besides the point because the
there's a guy like that out there who figured out a way to make money off of people who are just either desperate or too dumb to know the difference.
You're talking about
What are you
Brendan
talking
right
about,
now,
Brendan?
Oh, sorry, buddy.
No, I didn't pay for it. It was sent to me.
I know.
Oh no, I know. If someone told me they got blue venom,
You're usually crazy skeptical about this shit.
oh, I'm still skeptical.
Yeah. So you're taking that homeopathic version? Do you know what you're taking for real? Water. That guy's an asshole. Go back to that.
So a few days ago, the fighter and the kid uploaded an episode that really showed or exposed just how bad things are over at the Thick Boy Empire, because although for the past year, it does seem like Brendan Schaub has been actively trying to become the most hated person in podcasting because he says so many insane things. Trying to cover all of it would just be exhausting, if not impossible. But this time, because of how silly and straightforward the whole thing was, I thought it would be fun to show you the level of thinking, intelligence, and preparation that goes into making that show happen. Because this was basically a real-life version of The Office in which the main guy, the boss, gets completely exposed and finds out in front of everyone that he has been fooled by the oldest trick in the book. But in this case, because it's real life, it does make you wonder if Brendan Schaub was actually fooled by the product, or if he was maybe trying to promote a shitty product without telling his co-host, and then when he got called out, he tried pretending that he wasn't doing a shameless plug.
My arm, right? I couldn't lift it. Couldn't lift it. A mutual friend of ours goes, you need to get you're gonna love this. I can't believe we didn't talk, that's why. Friend goes, you need to get on blue scorpion venom.
What?
And I go,
bring that up, Chin.
Who's milking scorpions?
Yeah, who's milking
scorpions? And they're like, and I go, you inject it? You know, I don't know about injecting.
Yeah.
He goes, no, it's you just take it orally underneath your tongue. But the way they do it, it's right, the blue scorpion venom. Fast Act coming for pain and inflammation. Dude, Bubba, before I started taking, I couldn't hold the baseball glove for Tiger. I couldn't play catch with him. I benched this morning.
Well, you don't use your bicep for bench, but
I do. I bench. I can do curls.
What?
I did my normal workout.
Blue scorpion venom. Is it real venom?
Oh yeah. And they sent me videos of them milking these little scorpions, and they're only, I think it's the DR. It's a special kind of, because you can't get that fat Arizona scorpion. That ain't gonna work. It has to be these blue scorpions from the DR.
I mean,
isn't that crazy?
That's very interesting.
Crazy.
I believe it. I mean, a lot of that
I didn't
have an effect. Like, so Botox is botulism. It's what is it? The poison that the blowfish has, or something? It's like it's a poison that numbs the muscles.
All Botox? I don't think so, bud.
Yeah, Botox is
It's not all from pufferfish.
Yes.
Hey, I'm taking real scorpion venom, son.
You are. You're putting it under your tongue?
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Where do you get it from?
Wow.
What's that site?
What's that site?
You're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Damn.
What is it? It's bluescorpion.com.
And this stuff really works?
Yeah.
And it worked right away?
Okay.
This whole thing was so insane that I thought it had to be a bit. Like, I thought 20 minutes later, Brendan would come out and be like, I'm kidding. And then they would both make fun of the guy, the mutual friend who recommended that product. But that never happened. Instead, Schaub was actually serious to the point that even Callan had to entertain the idea, even though he looked very skeptical from the beginning. And look, to be fair, when people talk about actual snake oil salesmen back in the day, according to Google, it did actually start as a legit way of helping people reduce inflammation, but then the scammers came in. And what they would do is that they would sell a product that contained no snake oil, and they would also make claims that it would cure many, many things. But then later on, when people finally tested the product, they found out that it was basically a mix of many different things, but it contained no snake oil. But when it comes to Brendan, what makes it so crazy is that he could have just done some very basic research and found out if he was actually taking real scorpion venom. And so, unlike some poor victim back in the day that really had no other choice choice but to trust the salesman. Brennan legit had all the information in the world in his hands, and he was still sold on it. And by the way, don't forget to like the video. It helps out so much, and I really appreciate that.
How'd they figure that out?
Who started milking the scorpion?
Yeah.
Who was like, yeah, grab that little dude. And they're showing me how they milk.
So much.
And they put into I don't have the video. The guy was showing me on his phone. They put in like the 4 sections. So they milk, rotate, milk, and they just keep going around.
There it is. They're milking it.
It comes out of the stinger part, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's a drop under your tongue or something?
Yeah.
It's pure venom?
No, it's mixed with something.
It's expensive, though.
Yeah, dude. Someone's milking a goddamn tiny scorpion. It ain't gonna be cheap.
Yeah, I wonder if this is complete bull. This is placebo, or if this is real.
Come on.
That's what I want.
Worked on me, dog. I'm also on a lot of shit, though.
So the company decided to produce a homeopathic version of the venom. Uh-oh. That means it's not venom. Oh, boy. If it's a homeopathic version of the venom, there's no venom, guys.
Even if there's something in the story of blue scorpion venom curing cancer, the homeopathic version will not work.
So you're taking that homeopathic version. Do you know what you're taking? For real? Water. That guy's an asshole. Go back to that. Let me just see something. What does it say on it? Go back. That guy. You're so full of shit, dude. We should call him Harut Tovmasyan. Like, dude, what are you saying? Hold on. So
Bring us to the flex.
we harness the healing potential of blue scorpion venom enhanced by a patent polarization process. So maybe they're using actual blue scorpion venom to create safe, non-toxic, non-synthetic solutions for pain and inflammation. I got heavy skeptical hippo eyes.
Yeah, you should.
Very much. Let me see what the bottle says. Oh, it's homeopathic. So it's not venom. You're saying it's venom, but it's not.
It's a highly
It is a highly diluted homeopathic form. Okay, guys, what that means is that there's no venom in it. If you look up the way they do homeopathy, it's literally just water. I mean, guys, that is such bull. What a bunch of
venom of bees.
Yeah, but it's homeopathic. There's no venom in it. Wow. Wow. Unbelievable.
Placebo effect, Brent?
Yeah.
No, I feel like a scorpion.
Yeah.
Now, since Chubb will be on the Fight Companion coming up with Joe Rogan, it's a little bit sad that this didn't happen on that episode, because it would have been fun to see Joe's reaction to Brennan trying to promote blue scorpion venom. But who knows, because nowadays maybe Joe would also fall for the whole thing. But now the big question is, was Brennan actually being honest and simply tried a product that one of their friends recommended, or was that a product placement that he was trying to sneak in there without telling his co-host? And well, based on his reaction, it makes me believe that it was the latter, because this wouldn't be the first time that he does something like that. I remember a while back, he tried promoting something on the Golden Hour, and both Eric and Chris called it out. And the fact that he wasn't also making fun of or trashing that company or the product makes me very skeptical, which is wild, because that could mean that he maybe thought that Callan wouldn't notice or question it, or even worse, he was trying to promote something that he wasn't 100% sure what it was, which is really funny. And so I feel like people shouldn't forget about that, and instead should always roast him for trying to promote blue scorpion venom. And also, I don't want to look too deep into this, but I wouldn't be surprised if he planned the whole thing and he never really injured his bicep, and instead was using that as a setup so that he could bring up and talk about this magical cure on both of the shows.
God, that guy's that is a huge con. What bullshit? You're saying there's venom in it, and there's no venom. It's a highly diluted form, meaning like what? That there's none in there. Like, what are you doing? People are unbelievable that they'll just make a lot of money with some kind of it's literally a gimmick. You're spending money on the bottle. God, that's so bad.
And it sounds cool.
Look at that guy. Who is that guy?
Yeah, it does.
Right? That's a marketing deal.
Oh, God. Yeah, there's a guy like that out there who figured out a way to make money off of people who are just either desperate or too dumb to know the difference.
You're talking about
What are you
Brendan
talking
right
about,
now, dude.
Brendan?
Sorry, buddy.
No, I didn't pay for it. It was sent to me.
I know.
Oh no, I know. If someone told me they got blue venom,
You're usually crazy skeptical about this shit.
oh, I'm still skeptical.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna set it, I'll try it out.
I'm glad we looked into this, because I don't want to promote this guy's product when it's not even
I was
real.
promoting real venom.
It's not even
I'm
real.
promoting real blue scorpion venom. So if you find one, you can get stung by one.
Right.
And hopefully
Man, that
it's going to
guy-
hurt, but maybe get stronger.
There are people out there that make their money off of basically bullshit. That's what that is.
So I've been taking water.
Like there's no real venom in there. And you know, it's like, and then he'll get shut down eventually or get found out, but he'll make millions. And there are people that are good at being con artists.
Yeah,
Do me a favor. I hate to harp on that guy, but
no, let's get off of him.
All right.
Now, funny enough, when I first saw that, it kind of reminded me of that time that Chin, the producer, and Callan were having that argument about why knowing stuff about the world and geography was a waste of time. And now looking back, that mentality combined with a boss that was about to become a snake oil salesman makes me believe that the show is absolutely doomed and no Austin or Joe Rogan could potentially save it. Because, by the way, the move to Austin is actually happening. They talk about it in that episode. And I do feel like it will be a very interesting time, not only for the show, but also as a way to truly test the power of the Rogan sphere. Because even though the old Rogan fan base will probably never like Brendan Schaub again, unless he has some crazy self-reflection and changes, which will never happen. When it comes to the new Rogan fan base, I'm talking about the new fans that don't really care about Joe Rogan doing ad reads and interrupting the podcast. Those new fans haven't really seen much of Brendan Schaub for a very long time, and so I wouldn't be surprised if Joe tries to reintroduce Brendan Schaub to that new audience. And I know people like to point out that Schaub has been on the Fight Companions a few times recently. Come on, let's be honest. The Fight Companions don't really count as being a real Joe Rogan podcast episode.
Because I'll do Rogan on Saturday, but I'll take the day.
You doing Rogan on Saturday?
Yeah.
You doing a podcast? Fight Companions. That's right. Good. It'll be you, Rogan, Eddie,
and then probably somebody else because Joey's not feeling great.
Okay. So, man, I'm in Vegas. Can I zoom in? Hey guys.
Can you imagine? Call Rogan and ask him.
Because they only get a fraction of the views, and I would argue that most of those views come from old fans that simply want to catch up and see what's going on with the people they used to listen to back in the day. And so my prediction is that because for the past year, Brendan Schaub was really trying to change the narrative and rebrand himself without really taking any accountability or addressing any of the drama, it makes me think that the whole plan was for them to just let time pass by and hopefully people will forget about the whole thing. Callan was recently on the podcast and Joe Rogan pretty much ignored all the drama and all the tough questions and just pretended like he was talking to an old friend. And so maybe that will be the same thing with Brendan Schaub once he gets to Austin. And so once again, it will be very interesting to see if the whole thing pays off and it actually works, or if Brendan Schaub is truly a lost case, because we've said this many, many times, but Brendan Schaub is really his own worst enemy. I mean, he's done this all to himself, but because